morning, everybody. Welcome back to the far too early in the morning Monday brunch show. Hope you've all had a good weekend. Oh, sorry, I just dropped something on my leg. Sorry about last week and the week before. Last weekend, we were at the Wimbledon spiritual retreat in Bournemouth. So I was on my way home at 11 o'clock. So I couldn't do it. And the week before, I think Richard took it for me because I was somewhere else or doing something else. I had no idea what I was doing half the time, to be honest. But anyway, if you're a VIP and you haven't seen the photos from the weekend away, they are on the VIP lounge. And if you're not a VIP, it's the best time to join. So shall we get on and introduce my guest today? I can't even speak because I'm so excited. He is one of our favourites. He's been on the main show a few times now. So let's have Medium Joe. Joseph Haig, hello.
Hi, good morning. You okay?
Good morning. It could be afternoon in some places, mind you, because we do go out all over the world.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me along.
It's an absolute pleasure. That's wrong. Turn that off. My mouse, I've got this really dodgy mouse that does things that shouldn't be doing. I'm not blaming my fingers. I'm actually blaming the mouse because I can. So we see who we've got on today. We've got a few people popping on. We've also got Terry in that, and she's not here today. Our medium. Our medium? See, I can't even speak. I've been like this for a week since the weekend away, not been able to speak or do anything properly. I don't know what it was. Terry, that's what I was going to say. The other admin, the main admin, is watching both Facebook and YouTube for me today. So if anybody misbehaves, she'll kick them off because she's a bit of a bully sometimes, you know. Terry is there. She says, good morning.
Good morning, Terry.
And quite a few of the regulars have popped on already. Keith Bernard Abbott, he's around this morning. And Debbie. Terry said, apparently I was poorly. I don't remember. I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone...
Could I?
let alone a week or 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Spiritual Psychics TV. I think that's Richard. I think that's Richard. He's spying again. Who else have we got on this morning? Mandy. Good morning, Mandy. I don't recognise Mandy. I don't know if she's new. Oh, if you are new, please let us know. And where you're from. Christine Davis is another one of our regulars. Hello, Christine. Oh, South Africa. Told you it was all over the world. Caroline Thomas. Who else have we got on? Barbara is on, watching on YouTube. And Joanne Lewis. She was on a few weeks ago doing some Ascended Masters cards.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, amazing. Richard is saying I best behave. Terry is saying I'm not a bully. Stop getting tongue-tied. I really can't speak anymore. Who else have we got? Corrie Dutton, hello. She's on Facebook. Another one on Facebook is Caroline. I said Caroline before, didn't I? Sue Chadwick is back. Who else have we got? We've got, Krish. Krish is one of our regulars in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got a few people popping on. So, oh goodness, Krish is still on there. What's she doing there? How did you start, Joseph, in your mediumship?
It was nearly 20 years ago now. I always say to people I had an absolute fascination with Ghostbusters growing up. And then around the age of 18, 19, believe it or not, I never knew what a psychic or medium was until I saw Most Haunted. I think that's kind of my first indication of what it was. And then just a sequence of events led me to go into have a reading and go into spiritual church and being put into a private development group. And it kind of went from there. So in my early days, and never ever experienced anything spirit related. It kind of all happened around this 18, 19 years of age. Sort of it all started to come to fruition.
Wow. That's I've tried recently to get into it, but I've taken a bit of a step back.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't really working for me. I don't know why. My thing is, I don't believe that it's spirit saying things. I think it's my mind.
Yeah.
My mind doesn't stop, and it comes up with the most ridiculous things. I could be sitting in a meditating, and suddenly my mind will think, do penguins have knees? Or anything like that. It's ridiculous. It just doesn't stop. And I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. But I do hear things, and I do see.
Yeah.
I do the pendulum, and I've got my cat balls who chat to me. People, that might sound a bit silly, but they do answer me.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think one of the things I wish having never done this now for 20 years, which is a long time, it's scary that that's flown by. You're never encouraged to get things wrong. And I think it's so important to put yourselves in situations where be open circles and development groups where you can safely get things wrong and identify what is your own thoughts and what is spirit. And, even to this day, I still get it wrong. There's days where it just does not work, but that's okay. That's part of the learning process. And if you can understand and distinguish what your own thoughts is and what spirit is, you're kind of halfway there. So you've just got to trust that process. However, I'm not sure spirit do ask if penguins have knees. Maybe they do. So who knows?
Apparently penguins do have knees.
Oh, right. Okay. I did not know.
They do have knees, yeah. I'm not quite sure who invented the mirror, because that's another one of the ones that goes through my mind.
Right.
I'm sure someone will tell us anyway. So we've got a few more people popping on, a few more of our regulars. We've got Dominique is on YouTube, Nadia, and another regular, my lovely friend Sally. We just spent the weekend up in Bournemouth, a few of us, with Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, actually, and some of the SPtv people.
And Phil Shaw as well. Was Phil with you as well?
Phil, yeah, he was there, yeah.
Lovely Phil.
Phil was there, and who else? We had, who else did we have? Polly Harnett. She's one of the SPtv ones. She's a fantastic trance medium. Bill Hughes, Phil Shaw did his Transfiguration, and it was obviously it was brilliant to be there and meet people we hadn't seen. I'd never met Terry, and yet we talk day in, day out. In fact, she's doing it now. I can see silly comments coming through from Terry. And when I see her in June, I'm going to tell her off, to be honest. But yeah, it was a great weekend we had, and I've never laughed so much in my life, ever.
Good.
And the photos we've taken are absolutely hysterical. It's absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, they're doing another one in October in Stratford-upon-Avon. It's already full up.
Wow.
Absolutely full up. And Terry is still saying that I love her really in her dreams. Anyway, would you like to do a few readings for people?
Yeah, absolutely. If we may, let's get cracked. Let's get cracked on and get started.
Would you like me to just show you some names?
Yes, please.
Let's see. We have Debbie U, Heidi Spicer.
We'll go to Heidi first. That's okay.
Oh, well done, Heidi. She's a friend of mine. She's an absolute lunatic, but don't tell her that I said that.
So we'll wait for Heidi's comments to pop up, but I just want to start with this male that steps forward on her dad's side of the family. So we've got this father figure that's stepping forward for her, so she would have to understand that being accurate. The other thing that they say to me as well is that they've got the baby now. I don't know if someone lost a set of twins or those two children lost very quickly in quick successions. Feels like it goes back a period of time. This male figure talks about issues with the chest as well. So I know someone passed from what feels like cancer of the lungs rather than emphysema, but he wants me to acknowledge that reference there as well. He's laughing as he's talking to me, and he's saying to me, will you tell her we've got the rabbit? Tell her we've got the rabbit. So again, this is a memory link from growing up about having this rabbit. Now, interestingly, I can feel this rabbit being in the garden. So it would have been a garden pet rather than an in-house pet that he'd want me to acknowledge. Okay, that's absolutely fine. He says to me, can we talk about the name? I think it's Jane. So he wants me to reference that, so whether that be in spirit or be here, but he wants me to acknowledge that as well. He also takes me to the month of August, and he wants me to reference birthdays being salient there. Now, I think there's 2 birthdays rather than just one, so I can't kind of get the date, which would make me think there's more than one. But he'd want me to make that reference and acknowledgement there as well. Okay, perfect. So Heidi's just acknowledging that Dad had lung cancer. The other thing that he says to me as well, which interesting, he's such a fascinating individual to chat to, because he's you have to help me with this, Alison. It's almost like when you get a knife and you do the old shaving with the knife rather than a razor. I can almost feel it.
Cutthroat razor, that's it.
Yeah. So I wonder if someone used to do that as well. I can feel that just slowly just going down the side of my face. So I wonder if that's a memory link for him as well. Although I don't feel her in spirit, someone's just said to me, will you tell her we've got Mum with us? Tell us we've got Mum with us. And there's a lady that stands next to her as well. So I believe that to be her sister. So there must be an auntie figure. So Mum and auntie must be with Father in spirit. So I wonder if Heidi could understand and relate to that as well, please.
Yeah, Jane is sister's middle name, and her birthday is in August.
Perfect. Right, okay, so we're just going to wait for the mum comment before we go on to this next thing, because someone just said to me, we got the balloon. Now, I don't think that's anything to do with either of those 3 individuals that were just bought through. I think it relates to another younger person. Okay, so I identified Dad, believe Mum and an auntie figure to be in spirit as well. Now, just to explain to people how this works, this mechanics behind this, the further away I see them from an individual in my mind tells me who they are. So when I see someone slightly below and to the side, that tends to be a younger person. So I wonder if Heidi could understand about a younger boy that would be in spirit. That wouldn't necessarily be her son, but maybe a nephew or a cousin. And because they want me to acknowledge this little boy, and this would be a more of a recent thing. So let's say recent, in the last maybe 10 years, and they talk about the balloon. They say, will you let them know we got the balloon? And that's for a child that would be passed to spirit. It's not a baby, it's a younger boy, okay? Oh, so the balloons relate to that. So I wonder if Heidi would understand that a younger male being in spirit as well, because they want me to talk about that. I've got to give this name, I'm a bit hesitant to give it, but they keep saying to me, Fred, and they keep saying that to me over and over again. So they just want me to acknowledge that connection as well. Dad's message to you, he's around you a lot. I don't feel Mum is close, and that's not a reflection on your relationship with her. That's more it's Dad that's wanting to come forward. He's around you a lot. He cares for you so much, okay? He says he knows about the male. I think it's the male that's got the financial troubles at the moment as well. So he's been watching a male trying to work out this financial dilemma. And he says he's trying to give guidance from the other side with regards to that. So Heidi, I'm going to leave their love with you if that's okay. And I'm just going to say God bless. Okay, that's fine.
Lovely. Possibly not sure about the child. Lovely. Thank you very much. There you go, Heidi. Don't say you never get anything. Heidi's a friend of mine as well. And I will just say that Terry and Richard, they are both going to be in trouble at some point today.
Bless them.
Oh, bless them. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say that. Would you like some more names?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we have. Heidi's just come back and said, I keep singing Right Said Fred. Right Said Fred. Let's have a cup of tea.
Perfect.
There you go. We have Rose Dennis has come on today. That's a lovely photo. Looks like a German Shepherd.
We'll go straight for Rose if that's okay.
Rose, there you go.
Perfect. I like it when there's no information on the pictures. It makes it hard for me to work things out. So Rose, if I'm wrong, I apologise, but there's always an experiment when we do this. Perfect, that's fine. And just to explain to people, they never used to do this. They make me shiver now when they step in. This is such a new thing. I don't know why they do it. it's interesting. Rose, we're just going to again talk about dad's side of the family in one moment. We're going to bring your grandmother in from mum's side of the family. She straight away says Margaret. So that name is significant in the family, okay? And you're going to have to forgive me, Rose. I'm just going to have to go through this slightly differently. So we've got a grandmother figure in spirit. That would be on mum's side. She says to me she's got the male that passed really, really quickly to the world of spirit. Now, I don't think this is a heart attack. This is either an aneurysm or a hemorrhage. There's something about this gentleman that would just pass, and it's almost like I feel myself just drop into the world of spirit. So we need to acknowledge him. Who that is, I'm not really sure, and I'll try and work on that. But Rose, would you understand that we also have a father figure in spirit, please, as well? Because I can understand this male stepping forward and putting his hand on your shoulder, which would be a fatherly figure for me. That's fine. He also takes me to what I believe to be the 13th of February. I think that's the date that he wants to give me, the 13th of February, because he wants me to acknowledge that connection, okay? That's absolutely fine. And he's chuckling it to me, so we'll just check just as we go through this if we can understand this father figure that's just stepping forward, because he's chuckling to me and he just said, will you ask her if she's got the keys, or ask her if she's got the new keys? Now, normally they have little symbols to get me to think about this reference to a new house or new car, but I wonder if you've just got a new set of keys or you've just had a key replaced. That's how I would reference that. And they also said to me, someone just said, will you tell her we sent the squirrel? So I wonder if this morning you saw a squirrel run across your garden or run across the fence, because he would want to acknowledge that. When I say the sent, I don't think they do. I just think it's their way of referencing that they're around for us, okay? That's fine. He talks about, interestingly, this connection with a book that needs to be put on a shelf, or he references this. He talks about a book that's being taken off a shelf. So whether or not you are actually taking a bookshelf down, or you've recently found a book of your dad's and been looking through it, but it would be that acknowledgement and that reference to that as well. That's fine. He says to me as well, just bear with me guys, I'll chat to myself. So if he talks to me about the name Bill as well. So he says to me, Bill, I was trying to get out. He talks to me about Charlie as well. So I don't know if Charlie is a last name, but I don't know if it's William Charlie or Charlies. I don't know. I'll ask you just to take that, please, and please let me know. And we've got a picture of an Alsatian on your page, but I do want to just reference an Alsatian that would be in spirit as well, because I feel like there's this female dog that I'm just sat stroking as it's just gently put to sleep. So they want me to acknowledge this other Alsatian as well, okay? And interestingly, this other male's just stepped forward, who I think is on mum's side. So I think this is grandfather. He just said to me, well, if you're going to talk about animals, you need to talk about the farming links. And I can feel this farming link just going back on mum's side of the family as well, okay? So I just want to acknowledge that reference with you, okay? Whereas there's quite a lot of information coming through. Right, okay, that's fine. So we're going to leave Dad's love there. And we're going to talk about this other male that's just stepped in. So, Rose, just as we're focusing on this, I've just had a male that in my mind that's just come and stood next to you. So when they stand next to you, it tends to be a contemporary, so brother, sister, cousin, friend, partner. I'm not sure if it's partner or brother. So would you understand? I think it's brother. I could be wrong. He's really close, which would make me think partner, but the way he steps in, it would make me think brother. So would you understand that we've got either a husband or brother figure that would be in spirit, please, as well? And this gentleman talks about being cared for a period of time as well. That's fine. Okay. Because I've got this male saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, which is always about being looked after and being cared for as well. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Let's just wait for Rose just to pop that next comment on. Just interesting, I was about to end the reading, this male just kind of just swooped in and stood next to you in my mind. So I just want to acknowledge that. That's fine. And Rose is a lady stepping forward that's just said she's got my ring. So that would always be like a motherly figure to her. So I imagine that's mum rather than grandmother that's stepping forward, okay? Okay, so one just died. Okay, so they want me to acknowledge that as well. Just on that, the name John is really important. That connects with one of those brotherly figures. And interesting that I couldn't work out where he when he stood, it threw me a little bit. And if he's only just recently passed over, that would be why, because it's me getting used to that different energy, and I should have picked up on that. Okay. Whether he was, this isn't how he passed, but he talks about someone being in a car accident who didn't pass over, because you can see the front end of the car almost crumpled on one side. So they acknowledge that as a memory link as well. So Rose, I'm going to leave all that love with you. Florence is really important as well. So I'm going to leave their love with you, and I'm just going to say, God bless.
Lovely. Thank you very much. There's quite a few people coming on. Richard James has come on. And Rose has just come back and said, no, 1983. And her dad.
Perfect.
Okay. Would you like any more?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, see who we've got. We have Sarah Jane has appeared today. She's on Facebook. And Julie Caswell.
Should we go for Julie Caswell? Can I just
Caswell.
say to people, just whilst if you please don't put things in the comments about who you want me to connect to, because I'd rather do it and be completely wrong than go off information that you guys give. So please just pop a little like hello or you know, and I'll be drawn more to those comments. It's just I'd rather it be as evidential as possible for you guys. Okay, perfect. A lot of male links that are stepping forward today. So Julie, good morning. I'm smiling because I've got this male that's stepping forward. So again, this would have to be father figure that's stepping forward. So would you understand that, Julie? Because I've got this male that steps in. And very similar to the first male, he talks about lung problem, but it comes across my chest here. So it comes across this left-hand side. So Julie, you'd have to understand that we've got a father figure in spirit. You'd have to understand this male that passed with this condition around the heart, or certainly the left-hand side of my lungs. Okay, that's absolutely fine. The other thing that I just want to say to you as well is that there's a lady that steps forward on mum's side, and she just says to me, we tell her we're the ones that bring the feathers. We're the ones that bring the feathers. So they want me to acknowledge that reference around you constantly. Okay, that's fine. And Julie, just bear with me. I don't know if you've started knitting or it's your grandmother that used to knit, but I can just see someone knitting away in my mind. And I suspect it's probably you rather than them. If it's them, that's fine, but it felt more with you, okay? Julie, they also say to me as well that they want me to acknowledge about you having seen spirit in the house. So there's a situation, and we'll use an example, where you've been sat in the house and you've looked across and you've just seen a full figure, a full individual just stood there, okay? They're saying to me it wasn't your imagination, what you saw was real, okay? So I need you to acknowledge that as well. Whether it's Ken or Keith, but they want me to acknowledge that name being pertinent and salient as well, because they want me to reference that name stepping forward. Okay, that's fine. Dad says to me as well that he knows about the younger person that's looking at moving. So there's someone in the process of moving and saying, should we, shouldn't we, should we, shouldn't we? And that process has been going on for a period of time as well. So I'd ask you just to watch that. The knitting thing there, I wonder who that is, if that's not you. I'm going to be honest with you, Julie. I don't want to say it's spirit related. I think someone's just started to knit in the family. If that's not you, because it feels more real. It feels more here than it does in spirit, okay? That's fine. And just going back to that recently seen spirit thing, I would say to you as well, it's more than just seeing it. There's that option to go on it and develop it further if you wanted to, okay? That's fine. Julie, we're just going to open this up one moment and just talk about the person that's living that has issues with the anxiety to the extent that they had to take time off work or it stopped them from going out, because Dad says that he gives healing for that as well, and he wants me to make that connection and acknowledge that reference there as well, okay? That's absolutely fine. Perfect. And Julie, you'll hear me constantly say that's absolutely fine. It's because I'm talking to myself in my head and just processing. So I apologize, guys. It's just a habit I've got myself into. Julie, they talked to me about this reference to, give me that again. This lady that's just stepped forward. Now, I don't think this is mum. I wonder if it's a grandmother type figure or an aunt who just said, will you let her know I can see again? Let her know I can see again. So something about a lady losing her sight as well before she went to the world of spirit. So Julie, it's your dad that I wanted to bring forward mostly. He was the one that stepped forward quite strongly to begin with. He just says to me, she's got my old watch, you know, it doesn't work, but she's got it. So again, he's just acknowledging that with me as well. So Julie, I'm going to leave their love with you if that's okay, and just say God bless. Alison, is Richard online still? Because I think we've got someone for him. Oh, we can't hear you, Alison.
That would help, wouldn't it, if I unmuted myself? Richard still is online because he's sending me, trying to make me laugh, basically.
Would it be okay if I could read for Richard? Would that be okay?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't think he deserves one. But yes, it would be. He's in big trouble. He is here.
Perfect, that's fine. Richard, good morning. I think I'm with you, sir. I've just had this male step forward and he feels like a father figure. So lots of lots of fathers today. I don't know why that is, but Richard, would you understand that that's in spirit for us, please, sir? Because we'll know straight away if it's with you or not.
Come on, Richard. And you called him Sir. That didn't help because people started calling him Sir Richard yesterday.
Perfect, that's fine. Just bear with me. Okay, this mail just kind of stepped over here in my mind. It's almost like he just said, I want to speak to Richard. Can I speak to Richard? And he threw me a little bit the way he stepped in, but it would have to be that father figure that I want to be acknowledged. He comes and puts his hand on your shoulder, okay? And he says to me, it's okay to slow down sometimes. It's okay to take a breather when you're feeling overwhelmed, okay? So that's about all the work you're doing, which is brilliant. That positive stress is amazing. That tells me you've got lots of different things going on. But equally, it's okay to take a little bit of time to just take a step back as well. So that rest, so it's all about balance. That's what he's saying. It's all about that balance. The other thing that he says is that it was me that communicated with you. So there's been a situation recently where he has made contact with you in some way or has shown you signs, and it's more than feathers. It's more than stuff like that. It feels like this real tangible connection that he's tried to make contact with you. So he just wants to acknowledge that with you. He just said, we share the same birthday, we share the same birthday. So I'm going to take that in a literal sense. So whether or not that's you and him or him and someone else, or it's me, and my birthday's 8th of January, so I don't know if he's referencing that, but he just says we share the same birthday, which is normally a prompt for a connection in the family, okay? That's fine. He says to me, I've got Jimmy with me as well. Now, Jimmy doesn't feel like a family member. He pulls it across the mum's side, but it feels like it's further afield. So he wants me to reference that name being pertinent as well. Richard, it's your daddy. It's so much respect for you. It's so much love for you. And he loves this journey of spiritualism. That would just go on spiritualism is the wrong word, but just the investigation, the survival of death, the survival of the soul. And Richard, if I was to say to you the words Netflix, would you understand a reference to, if I was just to say that to you in a cryptic way, would you understand that, please?
Richard won't give his birthday out, by the way. He's very secretive. Okay. Myself and Terry are always trying to catch him out with things. There we go. Here he is.
Perfect. That's
yes,
fine.
I do, but might be.
That's fine. There's just something about whether or not you'd be about a discussion about a show or doing something like that. There was some reference there, and you said about new contract. That's fine. So I can feel like I can elaborate that on a little bit more. So, interestingly, I wonder if you've had a situation. It feels really generalised, this, and I apologise, but he just said to me, Spirit also put challenges in our way as well, and he laughed. So I wonder if there's something that you're trying to get sorted at the minute. It's just a bit frustrating for you, or it's just been a bit of a boulder in your road, and he's chuckling and just saying, we also put those boulders in the way. So for me, that's just referencing that learning that we have to go through as a result of that. So it might be frustrating you, it might be irritating you, but trust the process. That's all I can say with that. Just trust that process, okay? He also talks to me about this picture of someone stood with a really old motorbike as well, and I don't know if I think you're into your motorbikes, but I wonder if you're planning on, or someone in the family is looking at restoring, or speaking about restoring an old motorbike as well, okay? That's fine. So yeah, you can shop them. So, which I was doing the other day when my car broke down on the way to a service, and I was saying, why'd you do this to me, Spirit? But anyway, that's fine. Okay. That's fine.
Oh, yes, with the bike. That's something I didn't know. Richard likes motorbikes.
So there's lots of things coming through there for you, Richard. I just think your dad, he's just been waiting patiently to get something through to you for a little while. And he just said to me, will you tell him I got the cards? There's something about card that's relevant. And as he steps away, I think his name's been passed down, or certainly your name is due to go to another child in the family. So I'll leave his love with you, Richard, and just thank you for allowing me to make that connection.
He says it means something else about the bike.
Okay,
I thought I knew something about him then.
So thank you for that, Richard. And Alison, if you want to pop some more people up, let's go through. I
certainly will. I am going to mention the funniest lady that we've met in a long, long time. First of all, is Tina Lacey. She's not been very well. There's a lot of people came down ill, excuse me, over the weekend. So there's Tina there. She had us in absolute hysterics last week. I'm not going to tell you what it was all about, but it was so very, very funny. We have Lillian Summers, Julie Ramsden. Richard said thank you. You were spot on. Good. Sean Dwyer.
Can we go to Sean Dyer, please? Sean. I'm horrendous with names. I don't know why when I work with Spirit, I struggle with people's names. I had to remember them or pronounce them. Sean. Interestingly, we're just going to start. I've got this male that steps forward on mum's side of the family, so we'd have to understand this grandfather figure that's stepping forward. The reason I just want to acknowledge him is I can just feel this cardigan on, just this almost like this green cardigan as he just steps forward. He says to me, will you let her know we've got them and they're safe? Okay, so there must be a grandmother figure that's with them in spirit as well. Okay, so I just want to acknowledge on mum's side, we've got grandparents in spirit on mum's side. That's fine. I don't understand that. Okay, perfect. Just as we're connecting with those two, that set of grandparents, the way they say, will you let her know we've got them safe, would tell me that there would be someone else that's more recent, that would be different to them, that would passed as well. So I just want to check that with you, because I think there's possibly another person that they'd want me to connect with that has passed more recently that would be a stronger connection for us to build with, because I can feel this other lady's energy stepping forward as well. Okay, so that's fine. So Shan, can we just acknowledge that just on this specific point, do you understand that there's a female that's more recently passed? That wouldn't be a grandparent, that would be another lady in the families, whether it be a mother figure or an aunt figure, because they want me to acknowledge that with you. The problem is she's slightly further afield in my mind, so I'm struggling to place her, which makes me wonder she's from that statement they'd want me to acknowledge who she is. I'm not massively sure, so we'll try and just work with her. I don't know if it's mum or auntie, but as well, Shan, would you understand and just put yes father or no father? Would you understand that father's in spirit as well, please, sweet? Because this is male that's just swooped forward on dad's side as well. Bless you, Shan. There's just quite a few different things there for you. Just want to just make sure we're on the right link with this before we continue. The other thing that I want to say to you as well, Shan, as we're talking, is just what's waiting for you to comment. The almost yes is in spirit, perfect. So we'll talk to him. Sweet, would you understand that we've got mother or auntie in spirit as well? Would you say yes, mother, no mother with that as well? Because I wonder if that's that other lady that they're trying to bring in, because it makes sense for them to bring this your grandparents bring in this other lady, that'd be mum or auntie. Shan, as I'm speaking to you, spirit are almost getting a rug, and it's almost like I flick it in my mind and everything goes up in the air and everything falls back down. So this acknowledgement about how hectic and just difficult life has been for us over the last few years. There's also reference to volatile relationships as well. So someone's been in a relationship that's been really quite difficult and really quite sort of difficult to get out of. So they talk about that transition with that. Okay, so as we connect with that, the grandparents bring in mum in, that'll be their way of just sending love and letting you know that she is safe and letting you know that she is with them. And get a voice link with her, I can chat to her, but okay, fine, I don't know if I can do that with her. Shan, again, I need you to just say yes or no with the word that I'm about to say, because I don't know if this is with you or someone else, but would you understand a wider connection to the person that's in spirit that was murdered, please? So would you understand that? Because I don't think that's a family connection, that's further. So that'd be on partner's side, or would that be a friend connection? they've just referenced that. I can't quite get a link with that. That's so far away in my mind. So I don't think that's directly family. That's right. Okay. Perfect. And they're saying to me as well, they're saying it's today, you know, it's today, you know, it's today, you know. So I don't think that's a birthday. I wonder if someone's got a job opportunity that they're waiting for, or they're due to have confirmation of something today, but he wants me to acknowledge that with you as well. So there's lots of different energies that are stepping forward there for you. Perfect. That's fine. And there's this sense as well, Sharon, that there's a strong psychic sense with you as well. So there's psychic phenomena that's happened around us before. So I wonder if that's in the classic sense of psychic kinetic energy, where there's been poltergeist activity happen. You go out, please. Just. And Shan, there's perfect. You had an interview, so the same congratulations for that as well, please. Okay, that's absolutely fine. The other thing I want to say to you as well is, as they're making that connection with me, Mum just said to me, it doesn't matter about the lost ring, you know, it doesn't matter about the lost ring. So they want me to acknowledge that reference and connection there with you. Okay, so when whoever's ring that was would want me to reference that with you as well. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So sweet, I'm going to lead their love with you, and I'm just going to say, God bless.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking time out of your work as well to come on today.
No worries.
Apologies
for being interrupted.
Oh, that's fine. I know you're very busy. Would you like some more names?
I would love some more names, please.
Yes. Let's see who we have. Anne. I can't pronounce your surname. McClernon. I'm terrible with surnames as well. We have Suzanne. Well, we haven't. We have Suzanne Riches. They've all disappeared again. It's one of those. They've all disappeared. There we are. Amanda McDade is on. And Vicky Thrift. I don't recognise Vicky's name. She may be new. Terry Wall, we know Terry. Diane Pryor, I don't want to read to her for her, do you? She's gone anyway. It's my sister.
All right.
We ignore her.
If she's about, can we read for her? Is she still online? Because then I can read for her and do what?
Diane, are you still here, or have you gone back to work? I think she might have gone, because she's actually at work, and she's skiving in a little room she's made for herself, where she goes and skives off when nobody's looking. She doesn't really. She's really working. Oh, yes, she is. Oh, dear. There you go.
Perfect. So you'll be able to answer this for me then, if that's okay, Alison. You'll be able to speak on her behalf.
Yeah, she's
Alison, here. It says, because I can do this for you and Diane, and if that's okay, because there's a male that come and stuck behind you earlier, which would always be that dad would be in spirit for us. So would you understand that, please? Yeah,
we both would.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. He says to me, congratulations to Di as well. So whether or not she's just changed job role or something's changed within that job capacity, because he wants me to acknowledge that with her as well. Okay, that's fine. This is very, very jestful as he's talking to me about this. He just says to me, oh, it's nice that they get on, you know, and he winked at me. Okay, so he just talks about that strong personality and that connection with you both as well.
I hate her.
And Alison, would you understand that Mum's in spirit for us as well, please?
Yes, she is,
so for both of you, I just want to acknowledge this father and this mother figure that's stepping forward. Okay. And they talked to me about the name Rose being important as well. So they want me to acknowledge that with you both as well. Okay. Yeah. And Diane, I think it's probably more with yourself than it is Alison, but they give healing to the top of my back. So I don't know who's got problems with the neck and the back at the minute, but it's they want me to acknowledge that as well. Okay?
I do have neck and back problems too. Diane is a hypochondriac, so who knows?
Okay. Well, Mum just said to me, whilst you two are prattling about, and she wants to clip you both around the back of the head, and she just said to me, if you want to play games, I'll give you a spider. So she gives that to Diane. So I wonder if she's absolutely petrified of spiders. Okay, that's fine. Okay, your dad, bless him, he's just said to me, this is what it was like growing up. You know, there's always is all that energy, that nice, gentle energy that's going around. Okay, yeah. They talked to me about Frank as well. So Alison, who's Frank, please, with them in spirit? Because I want me to acknowledge that name as well. Wow. Okay, that's fine.
Frank, I don't know. We did have an uncle whose middle name was Frank.
Okay, perfect. That's absolutely fine. The other thing I just want to say to you as well, I've just asked, They've just given me my last name, so would you understand the last name Haig would be important as well, please, for street names? Do you understand Haig Street, please?
I don't. Whether Diane does, I don't know, because she lives in somewhere else. Diane, do you know Haig Street? I still can't speak. Come on, chop chop.
And the other reference I just want to make there with you, that's sorry, I actually think about it, I'm sure that's with Diet, and I'd put money on that, so I might have a little bet on that, Diet, if that's all right. And Alison can let me know later.
Yeah.
Mum just said to me, what on earth is going on with that garden? Why haven't you got roses in it as well? Okay, so she wants me to acknowledge what's going on with the garden as well. So Diane, I think that's more with you than it is with...
That's with me, because Diane doesn't have a garden.
Right, okay, that's
fine. My garden is a right mess at the moment. I was out there yesterday tidying up a little bit.
Perfect. So there's lots of energy around you two that's quite interesting. Diane, it's this connection with Dad that wanted to step forward for both of you, and then it's Mum that wanted to step forward as well. And Mum just says thank you for the healing, and she sends that out to both of you as she's talking to me. Okay, so she just wants to acknowledge that whoever was given a healing beforehand, whoever was supporting her before she passed over, they just want me to acknowledge that reference there as well. Okay,
thank you.
That's fine. And is it Diane or you, Alison? Who's got the tooth problem, please? Who's going to the dentist this week?
I'm not going to the dentist, but I do have a tooth problem.
Okay.
I don't know if Diane has. I haven't knocked any of hers out recently, but...
Okay. I think you're probably going to go to the dentist this week as well.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to lead there with you if that's fine. Just say God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you. She's always got to get in on my things, hasn't she? There's always one sister or brother. Okay. Thank you very much for that. That was spot on. My garden is a mess. Mum loved her roses. And I have got, I think, 3 of her roses that I'm trying to kill, really, because they don't look too good.
Was she saying to me that your lemon drizzle cake isn't as good as hers as well? That's the other thing that she said.
Cheeky moo. Oh, I'm not having that. No, mine's better than anybody's. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was fantastic. You can go back to work now, Diane. Stop skiving. Any more names for you?
Yes, please.
Let's have a look, see who we have. Julie Ramsden is here.
Okay, should we go for Julie Ramsden?
Julie Ramsden. Right, okay. There you go.
Julie, we'll start. You'd understand that there's a mother figure for us in spirit, please, because I want me to make this connection with this lady that's stepping forward. That'd be Mum. So you just confirm that for me, please, sweet, and then we can move on to who this other lady is that's stepping forward as well.
Let's just wait for. There is about a 15-second delay on both Facebook and YouTube, so it does take a few seconds for everybody's comments to come through. Here we go.
Okay, so that'd be grand. Sweet, there's this other lady that's stepping forward now. Julie, it may be that we're not with you, so I just want to check with this, because I've got this other lady that's stepping forward. I don't think you've got a sister in spirit, but I wonder if you've got a sister-in-law or a cousin in spirit, because there's this wider connection of this other lady that's stepping forward and that they'd want me to talk about. And the name, I think this is her name, but the name Anne or Angela would be relevant as well, because I keep hearing this A sounding name. I don't know if it's Angela or Anne, but they want me to reference that as well.
Yeah, just waiting again for Julie to reply. Hello, Tina Gray. She's just popped on. And Lillian Summers is here. And Julie. There we go.
And my aunt. So I wonder if it's Aunt that's stepping forward then. That must be spirit then. The way it stepped forward, apologies. I thought that was a lower connection. So I just want to acknowledge her as well, okay? That's fine. And they say they've got the mail that passed from the cancer that went through the body as well. So, because I don't think this is Dad. I wonder if it's grandfather, because it just feels like this male that's just slowly just getting more and more unwell before he makes that transition to the spirit world. And he talks to me about this interest in the war as well, because to take me to France, to take me to this idea of just looking at Normandy as well. So there's interest in World War II that would be relevant there as well. And that's fine. And pendulums, Julie, they keep showing me pendulums. So I wonder if you recently bought one or have you got an interest in them, because I can just see one going round and round and round in my mind. Okay, that's fine. They talked to me about David as well. So I believe David to be here on the earth plane rather than the spirit, because they'd want me to acknowledge that connection there with you as well. So Julie, just conscious of how all that's come through, so I'm just going to let you just answer some of those questions before we just move on to this next connection. Perfect, that's fine. So Julie, they've just told me to reference the male that made the decision to make the transition to spirit himself as well. So would you understand that we've got a connection with a male that sadly took his life in that way, please? Would you understand that? You can tell when the connection is slightly different, can't you? Because it feels a bit more, the way it stepped forward, it's like it's slightly on an angle in my mind, so I just have to try and work it out.
Right.
But there's this sense of this male that would be in spirit that made that decision to do that. Okay. Julie, because of the link of how that's come through, I'm not sure whether that's an uncle figure or a brother or partner, and apologies for not working out. It's slightly tilted in my mind, so I'm just trying to reference that. So that is that your uncle that made that decision to take his life then? So that would all fit in that sense as well. Okay, that's fine. Julie, I need you to know that male, he's just stepping forward to say, tell her I'm safe, tell her I'm safe, tell her I'm well, tell her I'm safe, okay? And there's a street that begins with S as well, so whether it be Saint Street, Steer Street, it just did this S sounding name that they'd want me to reference and acknowledge there as well, okay? That's absolutely fine. And I just ask you to watch for this smell of pipe smoke around you as well, because not necessarily with that, but this older male that they'd want me to acknowledge as well. Julie, I think that's everything I need to say to you. So I'm going to leave their love with you, if that's okay. And I'm just going to say, God bless.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Pipe smoke, that's something you don't smell anymore. I love the smell of pipes. My dad smoked a pipe.
Did he?
Yeah, it was lovely.
I was chuckling to myself. In another 40 years, I'll be saying to people, oh, watch for the smell of candy corn, popcorn vape. Because that'll be the trend in spirit then, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. They do. Some of those do smell quite nice, but some of them are not very nice. Well, we've got about 10 minutes left, so do you feel like doing some more?
Yeah, should we do one more? I'm conscious of my time because
you've got to get back to work, haven't you?
May have to go soon.
Oh, we've got a new viewer today. Sheila Fitzy, hello to you. And we have Wendy Lindsay. Wendy is our pendulum and crystal ball reader. She will be on tomorrow. Tina Gray is here. Tracy Watson. Paul Luke.
Should we go to Paul Luke, if that's
Paul
okay?
Luke, yes.
But if I just say Paul, if that's okay, hopefully that's okay, Paul Luke. So just as we're just stepping forward, I've got this older male that's wanting to make a connection with you. As he steps forward, he talks about our emotional well-being. He talks about where we're at within our strength as well, okay? He talks to me about this reference to caring for someone as well. So I wonder if there's someone who's a carer in the family for a younger person, or someone that's got extra needs like learning disability or autism, because he'd want me to make that reference in connection to that as well, okay? That's fine. Everything about this message to you is about strength and about telling you to be strong, continue to be strong as well, okay? So positive healing energy coming towards you, okay? They also talk to me about this grandmother figure that steps forward as well on mum's side, okay? And she says to me, we know about this reference to you looking into this work and searching into it and researching, so constantly looking into it and questioning it as well, okay? So she's trying to help with that from the other side. She talks about this reference to someone that's recently, someone's had to go into school for a school meeting for a child, so would you understand that as well, please? Because they want me to acknowledge that connection there as well. This older male that stepped forward, it felt like it was a grandfather figure. So it didn't feel like father, but you'd have to understand there's an uncle figure for us in spirit as well, because they want me to acknowledge and reference that with you as well, okay? That's absolutely fine. there has to be this strong sense about autism that connects somehow in the family, because I can feel myself clapping away, which would be a prompt to get me to think about that autism connection. Okay, so they want me to make that reference there as well. That's absolutely fine. Okay, where are you going with that? So I don't know, has Paul responded to any of that, Alison?
Not as yet. No, not as yet. We are just waiting. We have got a lot of people saying how they've enjoyed the show and they want you back again.
Thank you for having me.
So, Paul, if you can reply to Joe, that would be really good.
So continue. It's all about this care role. It's all this sense about looking after someone in the family as well. So there's a real strong sense of autism that's important somehow. I don't think it's Paul that's got that reference. That sense about looking after someone. Okay, so they want me to acknowledge that as well. It is about that whole message. The core of that is around our well-being, around our mental health, around saying that we need to be strong, we can be strong, and the spirit are guiding us. Okay, that's absolutely fine. And they say to me, watch what happens in our dreams, watch what happens in our dreams. So they want me to acknowledge that reference and that connection to sensing and feeling things in our dreams. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Just ask you to watch for the school thing that would step forward, please, Paul. Okay, that's fine. And they also talked to me about someone having issues with a housing association as well. So someone having an ongoing dispute or disagreement with them. So again, I don't think that's with yourself, and if that's wider family that would want me to acknowledge, but they talk about that connection there as well. Paul, that's everything that I needed to say within that message. So I'm going to leave their love with you, if that's okay. And I'm just going to say, God bless.
Lovely. Thank you very much. It's been great having you on. Before we go, just going to do a couple of adverts. We have tonight from 8 p.m. with Matt and Kirsty. I'm not sure if it's just Matt tonight or whether Kirsty's well enough to come back on yet. But that's from 8 p.m. UK time. And tomorrow, Wendy Lindsay, who we spoke about a little while ago, doing her crystal ball readings, which are it's really great. I love crystal balls and the pendulum. She taught me how to use the pendulum last year, I think that was. And tomorrow, Wendy is 1 p.m. tomorrow. And from 8 p.m., we've got Angela Mitchell back doing the psychic art, which that is absolutely fantastic, the psychic art. She is so very, very good. So that is tomorrow. Next week, we have on Brunch Amy Major, who will be discussing rescue mediumship, which I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look into that, but it sounds really interesting. So that's next week. And that's it for now, Joe. Thanks ever so much for coming on again.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Everybody's really loved it. There's some really good comments in there. See what people are saying. Just saying thank you from Paul, much appreciated. Krish, thank you. Sarah Jane, Terry who? Oh, Terry Wall. She's going to kill me. She's just saying they all said thank you. And it's Terry's crawling, by the way, because she said he's lovely, isn't he?
Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
It's been really good, and thank you ever so much for coming on. And that's it for now. So we'll see you all again at 8 p.m. tonight with Matt and Kirsty, or just Matt. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you again later on. Bye-bye.